We have letter N colon.
Oh, Kenny, can you elaborate on the N colon?
This is the second N. Second N is the best tasting Blanton in the history of Blantons.
Okay.
So,
Welcome everyone to episode 169 of the Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you're going to hear all week long. We're your hosts, Anthony and Steven.
Hello, sir. You were pretty hot on an introduction. What's going on?
Just mixing things up.
Just mixing it up. Well, I actually wanted to start on a little bit of a somber note tonight, even though I'm laughing from your thing. Is
that's
this is
why
actually,
I was mixing it up.
Yeah, you're mixing it up.
Yeah.
It's kind of actually something that brings me no pleasure to talk about, but. So over the last couple of times that we've recorded, Kenny has threatened me and he's threatened you. And even though I'm laughing about this a little bit, like we had to make the very tough decision to suspend him from the podcast.
Yeah, between episodes and off air, it was getting a little hostile.
There was a couple of times where he just made comments and we were like, not fully on board with those comments. So
he's pushing this Tuesday crap.
Yeah,
and then he's wanted Thursday crap.
Saying he wanted Tuesday episodes, then he said he wanted Thursday episodes.
Then he wanted an unboxing episode on Monday.
Then he wanted Friday episodes. Oh, wait, we have Friday episodes. The boxing Monday episodes. It's just got out of hand. So it's just you and I tonight. We'll have to wait until Kenny comes back from suspension. But so, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, you're doing well.
in the meantime, I went and got this sandwich in this allocated bottle. That's what I've been doing. I've been on the road traveling. Since y'all suspended me, I joined forces with somebody else.
What are you doing over there? How did you come back?
Well, I got a key to the place.
Well, that is true.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, I was fun. I had to make a joke about that because, I wondered. See, the thing is when we record, sometimes we don't tell each other things, and I feel like there's times where Steven gangs up on me with Kenny, and Kenny just gangs up on both of us, and I'm usually the one not making these things. So right before we hit record, I was like, just play along. And they were like, what are you talking about? Here we go. So Kenny,
I wore you all down. And I won the Tuesday thing.
You did win the Tuesday thing. And so it was a little fun. He didn't really threaten physical violence against us. He was just...
I do have my own memory card now.
Yeah, he has his own memory card.
So I might just put some Tuesday stuff out.
The memories are...
You sound like you could be on a debate stage right now.
Oh my God. That was great. The memories are what?
They be recorded.
Oh man.
He said you're not going to let you.
That's so great. Anyway, fellas.
Oh boy.
How are you both doing? Doing well?
I'm good, man.
Yeah. Are you excited about the upcoming pick that we get to do?
I'm so excited.
You realize the worst part about that pick is
you're
going
in
to be
charge of stuff at the STEAM University. This
I know,
is scary,
right?
bro.
What's scary is that you have to share a room with me.
Yeah, so we are heading to Jack Daniel's to pick a barrel proof rye and a barrel proof bourbon, and I am incredibly excited because I've talked to so many people that have gone and done the pick.
Right.
It is supposed to be just an absolutely beautiful place. Mm-hmm. The whiskey is going to be great. I mean, that's some of the best underrated stuff out there. Some of Jack Daniel's single barrel proofs, ryes and bourbons. I'm excited, man.
But I'm excited too. But I'm also thinking to myself, while we're there, it's still Tennessee, and being
Tennessee.
Do you think we should wear UK?
Tennessee. Take me to
another place. A little Arrested Development. Do you think we should wear UK gear there? I mean, Steven, what do you think? Do you think we should?
I think you should. I think you should.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think get some Hot Chua merchandise right down there.
Hot Chua. Hey,
That's where she's from.
It is. How do we go without mentioning that? See, she's got a lot of fame now. Did you see that? She's going to like concerts.
We didn't
and
mention
everything.
the last 2-3 episodes.
Right.
I'm just, you know,
It
whatever.
was just played out. It was too commercial.
too much for
you know,
me.
it's like when a band becomes popular. Like,
I was
they're too
laughing every
mainstream
time.
now. They're mainstream. Yeah. It's good. But Hawk Tuah is now mainstream. And
I'm gonna wear UK or wear my traditional bourbon picking shirt.
Old Louisville.
Old Louisville, baby. Love a mean old Louisville. If you want me to sell out and be a hoe, just give me a free shirt. I wear my Wilderness Trail shirt to P-Rats a lot.
I noticed.
Like, nope. But hey, they give me a free shirt. I'm gonna wear it.
Right. I was going to say, why doesn't P-Rats give you a shirt to be good advertising?
Now, Steven, you should actually appreciate that because one of the main shows you listen to nonstop, Ryan Lemon does that. You give him a free shirt, he wears it, bro.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Oh, yeah.
Like KSR, you give Ryan Lemon a free shirt, he's wearing it. So
That's right.
You give
doesn't
me a
matter
free
how
shirt,
small it
bro.
is either.
Yeah, oh no, he's a trip, dude. He's funny.
Yeah, I always, you know what's funny? I made a criticism. So Steven and Michael and I have a group text as well. And I criticized Ryan Lemon pretty heavily because I feel like sometimes he gets excited. He just talks really fast. Then I thought, like, wait a minute, I'm on a podcast where people can criticize me, so maybe I should slow my roll.
Yeah.
And then also, like, this is too KSR probably for the mainstream audience. But when Matt is traveling, right, the main guy on KSR, he does all these, like, takeover days and things like that. And I think it's Myron Metcalf that takes over. Is that the guy?
Yeah, Mondays.
Oh man, I can't vibe with that. Like, I just don't know what's going on Mondays, and I have a hard time listening when there's Myron Metcalf takeover day. No offense to Myron Metcalf, I just can't listen to you on KSR. is that offensive?
I've actually taken the entire summer break from it.
Really?
Bro.
Yeah.
Why? What's driving the break?
I think on some of them I've listened to, some of the big
Just
shows.
not having Matt on there and the normalcy of everything.
And I can only take so much of guests and like the change of pace of the show.
Right.
So some summers I do anyway because sometimes there's not much going on,
Right.
and I get to listen to other stuff. But I just actually got
Maybe you can listen to the mashup.
Yeah, maybe I catch up.
There you go.
Catch up about 30 episodes.
I mean,
behind.
it took me about a week and a half to get through the 3-hour one.
Dude, I know. Believe me, I know. Gosh, dang it.
It took me a long time to edit that, so like, I can only imagine. Yeah.
Oh
But,
my word.
you know, so many people have reached out though that have said how much they enjoyed listening to that. So I mean, that's a whole idea.
I believe it.
And
With Tuesdays, that's a whole idea with Tuesdays, right? Like, do something different on Tuesdays.
I'm thankful for them enjoying it. I really didn't think a lot of people would listen to it because it's long.
It is
man.
long.
Yeah.
It really is. It's long.
Right? You did give a good disclaimer though. You
I
said,
said, yeah, turn it off. This is
If
not
you're-
an episode. Just freaking turn the crap off right now. So
I hope people don't want to turn off this episode tonight though when they hear what bottle we're doing.
Dude, here's the thing. No one's listening anyway because you said I wasn't here.
Oh yeah,
They
that's
already
right.
turned it off.
Yeah, as soon as they heard Kenny wasn't here, they said,
yeah.
Old Louisville pick tonight, baby.
"Oh, Louisville picking, oh yeah." You know what's funny? How much like our people have caught onto that? They'll like put "oh yeah" on Facebook and posts and stuff
Dude,
like
Shannon
that.
told me I don't appreciate your listeners talking smack to me.
Oh come on, yeah.
I mean, she's joking, but yeah,
Of
it's
course.
funny.
Oh,
I love
man,
it.
That's
I
great.
love it.
Yeah, it's fun to see that kind of camaraderie and continuity. So we'll go and try not to ruin all that goodwill tonight. And Kenny, we're really glad that you are not suspended for false allegations. 100 false.
Goodness gracious. I was wondering where you're going with that.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Now you're like, wait a minute, this guy's got a different way of telling jokes.
I love it.
Well, speaking of going, we have another review.
Oh, yes, we do have another review. And so this review comes to us from Josh Kells via Apple Podcasts on 6/4/24. And the title of this review is Great Podcast! Exclamation point. So this listener writes, this group of guys is hilarious and incredibly knowledgeable about all things bourbon. Their insights and humor make each episode a delight to listen to. The way they break down different bourbons and share their experiences is both entertaining and educational. The unique juxtaposition of host personalities adds a special dynamic that sets this podcast apart. Whether you're a bourbon enthusiast or just starting to explore the world of whiskey, the mashup is a must listen. I'm sorry, I couldn't do a more,
all right.
more perfect review.
So obviously there's
I thought that was a typo.
there's Kenny burners, but this is an Anthony burner because only someone in education would be able to say that word.
I am 49 years old, and And I have never in my life seen the word juxtaposition.
Oh, you didn't?
I thought that was a typo.
Oh, no. Come on.
I have such a simple brain and simple mind.
that's
and
so great.
I'm like a hillbilly hick.
See, that's funny. We were all laughing for different reasons.
That was a typo.
No,
I was laughing because I knew it was a burner account.
no,
I'm just kidding.
no, that was a great review. And the reason why I was laughing is
that's
because
awesome.
the unique personalities of each host, I was like, okay, this is freaking, that's exactly what we have going on here. And the fact that you guys thought it was something else is even better.
Oh my gosh.
No, but yeah, that's a great review. We appreciate that. I'm assuming this person's named Josh, if it's Josh Kells, but it could be somebody else. It could be
Probably Anthony backwards.
It could be Anthony backwards, But yeah, another 5-star review. We keep them coming. We love seeing them. It honestly, without any kind of source of, we don't have any monetization of this podcast, anything else. It's just us doing this for the love of the spirit right now. And this really, I don't know about you guys, but when I get these listener things back, feedback, it really fuels me because
It's so humbling, man.
Yeah, it is. It's humbling.
Like it gives me cold chills. It just makes me smile. It's also very humbling because we're just hanging out, man, talking about something we love,
As you guys know from the chat, like I'll check podcasts like at least once a day for.
Right.
You won't listen to one, but you'll definitely check for
No, you do, and
I send you a
oftentimes,
screenshot.
yeah, you catch them before we usually do, and I mean every single one of them means something to us, so we appreciate it very much.
And if you like a shout out, just leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, or Carrier Pigeon. And next time we record, we'll give you a shout out.
Man, freaking Zuckerberg could be on a T-shirt. Nobody would know what it means if they don't listen to our podcast, but love Zuckerberg.
Well, boys, I have to admit something.
Uh-oh.
We finally broke down.
Oh, yes, we did.
We've done the far west and the far east, but never anything in our backyard. The OG is what I'm talking about.
The OG has arrived.
The OG single barrel
Oh, yeah.
of
Come on.
Blanton's.
There you go. All right. So tonight we have a bottle of Blanton Single Barrel Bourbon. You should see the smile on Kenny's face.
We get to
It's
drink piss tonight.
so massive. Hey, you better watch out. I actually have a contract signed
This
by
single
Mr.
barrel is going to blow you away.
I am coming
Ralph-
in with an open mind.
Ralph
Two
Burgess.
frills.
I got a single
Two frills.
contract with Ralph Burgess that says that you can't say anything bad about Buffalo Trace that you apparently signed one night when you were sipping with him and you didn't even remember it.
I am coming in with an open mind.
Okay. All right. So this bottle comes to us from the Buffalo Trace Distillery. The bottle date is 2024. What's the exact bottle date?
I gotta
on
say, you
that?
can't just say 2024. We're talking about blends.
It is handwritten,
And it says
April 9th, 2024.
4/9/24.
4/9/24.
ISO
Fantastic.
4/9/24.
There you go.
My
That-
baby was born that day.
This could have been somebody's child birthday right here. Yeah,
That's right.
exactly. The ABV is 46.5. Proof is 93. This is non-age stated, and this is somewhat controversial, but if you look on the internet, it says this is supposed to be 6 to 8 years old.
BS.
Kenny said BS. We'll pick that up later. The mash bill is BT mash bill number 2, which is supposed to be high rye, and the MSRP on this is $65.
Oh, very reasonable.
Very reasonable for what might be the single most important bourbon bottle in modern bourbon history.
First thing I was chasing when I got into bourbon.
Really?
Gotta have Blanton. I mean, you got to, right?
Right.
I remember going up to the casinos in northern Kentucky
Yeah.
in my very early stages, and I recognized the circular bottle,
Right.
Yeah.
and I ordered a Blanton's.
Exactly.
I talked to the guy next to me, my buddy. He was like, "What was that bourbon I tried?" And he's like, "Blanton's." I'm like, "I want one of those."
There you go.
You got the 8 letters
Right.
and you got the dump dates.
Right.
They are the smartest marketing of anything. I mean, just the marketing to marketings.
Right. And so, as astute listeners of our podcast would know, we have done pretty much like Steven said, saying we've been holding off on the OG, but we did. I think the first thing we did was gold. Then we did straight from the barrel.
Straight from the barrel. Green.
I think green, which was special reserve.
And then black
Yes,
after
and
that.
then
black. And now we're here at the OG. Finally,
we didn't get the red.
We didn't get the
We left
red
the
and
red
all the
out.
other variants. There's 1,000 variants, but the OG now at episode 169. How
Full circle.
that's crazy. So bottle wise, you guys talked about Circle. We've talked about this bottle before. It's got a nice horsey top on it. It's got this sort of blend like tan ish.
Much,
Kind of office folder.
much sexier than those European chicks. This has got a little more hip to it. Got the extra 50 mils in it.
I did not know you were coming up with that. That's great. I love it. Good description. Yeah, because we do have the 700 milliliter Blanton's bottles that are a little bit slimmer, right? Is that what you're
Over in Europe.
Over in Europe, that's right. This is a 750. But anything else you guys think about this bottle that's notable that you want to talk about?
We have letter N colon.
Oh, Kenny, can you elaborate on the N colon?
This is the second N. Second N is the best tasting Blanton in the history of Blantons.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
the only thing that can make this better if it was a left facing horse. But so here's the thing. I knew we're doing this.
Right.
Because I did look at your show notes.
Oh, thank you.
And I knew we were doing this.
At least someone did.
I didn't go there. And here's
Kenny, someone's got to put him straight. Okay?
There you go. There you go. That's perfect.
y'all know. Anytime we do a show, I'm like, all right, what am I going to use as a blonde?
Right.
So my blonde tonight was going to be a Blanton's second in.
Okay.
And I was going to blind you all against this Blanton with that.
Okay.
And I knew for a fact y'all were going to pick my second in over this one.
Okay.
Based off what?
Because you're
better.
going to be so underwhelmed, I think, with this one that when I pour you something new, you're going to be like, oh, this is good, refreshing. But when you pull it out of the box, I saw it was a second in. I had to change gears. I'm like, he already has a second in. So now I come up with a different blind. Because I was going to blind y'all with Blanton.
Oh, my God.
So you got lucky you saved yourself.
Blanton against Blanton. That would have been
You
great.
saved yourself.
Yeah. And for the people out there that might think that we might take a bottle like this and not drink it, you're wrong. We literally just pulled this out of its wonderful box and bag, and we cracked the wax. You know, you got to grab both tabs
ends.
and pull as hard as you can to get that nice ring of
Got a jockey for it?
You got to grab the tail and pull it off.
There you go. And here we are. So this is actually, I just wanted to tell you guys, like, you're both, I mean, Kenny, I know you're aware of the hate that Blanton's receives out there and all the things that people call Blanton's drinkers. Steven, like, what Kenny said when I got into bourbon, I was chasing this bottle. You mentioned Northern Kentucky. I told you, the listeners, many times that this was a bottle that my wife got me for my birthday every single year when we moved to Kentucky. It was like, I know you like bourbon. I'm going to go get you a bottle of Blanton's. And I look forward to it.
Yeah.
And you know what I would do? Just in case people out there are insecure about where they're at with bourbon, I get a nice big rocks glass. I put the huge ice ball in there.
Yep, I did
and
too.
I would dump half of the glass full because I want to have a nice drink.
Too.
And that is exactly how I would enjoy my bourbon on my birthday.
So this is 93 proof.
Right.
Once you add an ice cube, it becomes non-alcoholic bourbon. It's under 90, bro.
That's true. But I mean,
Diet Blanton's. Huh?
that's how I would do it.
But the bottle is sexy. Look, you got all the angles.
Yep.
And like I said, you got the 8 letters
Uh-huh.
and the dump date. I mean, it is a sought. I mean,
I would say if you had a bar cart,
Right.
you would want this on your bar cart.
You might.
Just for the
then you-
aesthetics of the bottle.
But then you know what's going to happen, though? Somebody's going to come to your house, and they're a tater, and they're going to be like, I see that Blanton's, and then your bar cart's going to be no more because they're going to drink it all.
So Kenny, what he's saying is he's going to come over and he's going to drink all my
That's me, yeah, exactly. I'm going to be the one that comes over and drinks it. But no, it's an iconic bottle for a lot of reasons. We might get into some of the history here. I don't know how far in depth we want to go. I think everybody knows this by now, but Elmer T. Lee was the guy who basically started this brand to honor Albert Bacon Blanton. His middle name is Bacon.
What a great middle name.
But I mean, that's a great middle name. And Elmer T. Lee in the early 80s, when bourbon was just sort of trying to come back, when they were, overproduced, mass produced, and just sitting around, nobody wanted bourbon. Elmer was thinking about the foreign markets. He basically came up with this idea to honor Albert Blanton in a distillery and came up with, hey, let's select single barrels and bottle them. And that was a huge thing at the time. I mean, Booker's was probably doing single barrels around the same time, but Elmer T. Lee gets all the credit for the Blanton's brand and starting what would be known as his premium single barrel offering.
Now, I got a question for Mr. Kenny.
Sure.
I'm all ears.
Great. Has there been in any of the groups you're in about any honey barrel Blantons? Like, because it's single barrel. Have there been like, you got to get this one, it's like outstanding?
Not on regular plain blends.
Okay.
But they have like the ones, especially for Europe.
Right.
They have like that actual silver label.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those or in some of the, what is the L?
Fin du Monde or whatever it was, something like that.
So some of those, but
that's probably not even correct. It's probably Maison something.
Maison, yeah.
I think that's a beer that I just named actually.
Hey man, facts optional. It's all good. It don't matter, dude.
Du Monde Francois,
but no one.
Molson Ice. Molson Ice.
The only thing, and I've got a couple up there we can pour. The old Dusty Blantons are, I think, pretty good. Way more flavorful.
Really?
But I've never seen anything ever.
Okay, I know, like the first part of 2018 or something.
Right.
Blends was
Right.
outstanding.
Nah, because once again, man, they really, even though it's single barrels, they bottle a lot of those just off of taste profile. Mm-hmm. They're tasting it, and once it hits around a certain taste profile, and that's why it can be. Because supposedly, all right, so I said BS earlier.
Yeah, 6 to 8 years old.
So Blanton's is supposed to be 6 years old. Takara is 8 years old.
Right.
That's why the Japanese Takara typically tastes better. It's 2 years older. Blanton's, from what every insider I've talked to, is like 4 or 5 years old. If you do a Blanton's pick, like you actually get to go up there and pick your own barrel,
right,
you might get lucky at 6 years. But 4 to 5 is what I've been told now.
What did we say on the green and the black?
I think that we
passed them, didn't we?
I think we may have been, yeah.
And the green's only 80 proof.
Yeah, okay.
Green was easy pass. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
I should have actually went and listened back or looked at our notes for what we did for the black. If you can pull that up, that'd be great, because I think black was that 90 or 100?
No, it should be in the 93, I thought, right?
93? Maybe it was 93. Yeah, so maybe we thought about it being older, but I think that maybe if I'm thinking back.
I might be wrong. I don't know.
I'm not sure. But anyway, what's interesting is, even though we're talking about it, we're talking about honey barrels and other things like that. The reason why I say this is an important bottle, but it's also massively controversial, is even got to give a shout out to our friends over the Bourbon Hunters. JD Fritches, I've been talking to him quite a bit, and I listened to one of the recent episodes where they talked about overhyped bourbons, and they talked about Blantons, and they're not unlike a lot of others that call Blantons overhyped, right? Bourbon Pursuit said Blanton's is overhyped. They kind of actually poked fun at it to the point where I may have even messaged him at one point in time and said, y'all, we might not have bourbon podcasts and be talking about bourbon if it wasn't for Blanton's. We can call it overhyped. We can be objective and say, yes, it might not be worth it, and we'll see what we say tonight, because it's been a long time since I cracked the bottle of Blanton's.
Right.
But I don't know that there's a bottle that attracts so much attention. For iconic,
No, wait.
But it tracks it in positive and negative attention.
I was going to say.
Positive and negative.
I would say this bottle, and I'm sorry.
Right.
But the Willet Pot Still.
Right.
Those are pretty two iconic bottles.
Right.
And I think a lot of people, I was gifted Pot Still several times based off the bottle shape.
Right. A lot of people
though I don't like it.
Yep.
So I think those two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but again, even when you think about something like Willet Pot Still, right, that was a Willet name mixed with a very cool looking bottle. It looks like a still. This, when you talk about what it means to premium offerings, right? It's got so much history that people don't even realize. Even today I'm on Facebook. I'm in one of the major bourbon groups, and someone said, got to Buffalo Trace for Blanton's Day, got 2 bottles of Blanton's. Then I went to a local store and got a bottle of Eagle Rare. Then I found out on Sunday, I think it was Sunday, it was E.H. Taylor Day. I got 2 bottles of E.H. Taylor. This is the greatest weekend that I've had in a long time. And this is right now, 2024, right?
No, it is, man.
That's exactly what that made that guy's weekend, right?
If they threw in that Weller Special Reserve.
There you go, right? I think they may have got Special Reserve with the Blantons on the same day. But again, that's your bourbon consumer. That's why I'm saying, no matter what we think of Blanton's tonight or what we know about the history of it or whatever our own experiences are with it, it's a bottle that it fuels a lot of what we do, man.
Yeah.
It's, it really does. I hate to give it that kind of platform, but it does.
Even Kenny and what we know so far of what his thoughts are on Blanton's. I look over to my left.
Well, so I'm going to say this. And I think we talked about it a few episodes ago because Ralph was on me a little bit.
Right.
A lot of my negativity for Buffalo Trace products is driven due to secondary pricing. And that is not fair to Buffalo Trace.
Right.
We just talked about Russell's 15 being $250, $270 retail, right? For Buffalo Trace's credit, man. What, William LaRue, George C. Staggs, 119, 129? Mm-hmm. So it's not, so they are keeping their products very fairly priced.
Yep.
So a lot of my disdain comes from the secondary market, which isn't fair to them. So if Blanton was like it's supposed to be, $49 to $69, $59,
Right.
I just, people flip out over it, and it's 100. I mean, 100. Well, a lot of times, $150, $200 on some websites, but
Right.
it's just one of those things where it's just so highly sought after. It's like, that's what gives me a negative connotation. But I shouldn't be like that.
Before we go into nosing here, I have to say, did you guys see the video that made its rounds on Instagram where the guy got the Blantons from his wife in a bag, like the brown paper bag?
And he flips out.
And he's like screaming. He's like, oh my God.
Like excited.
Yeah, it's like, and it's not staged. You could tell that like it's his legit, genuine reaction. He's just like
Totally flipped out.
Yeah, like flipped out to the point where, like, of course, we're all looking at it laughing, but I mean, that was a genuine moment that guy had.
Now, speaking of another very good Blanton's moment, video.
Yep.
You remember Caleb's video that he posted that he had that little makeshift brick fire pit that looks like ghettos can be.
Yeah.
He literally just started pouring Blantons out over it.
Yeah.
And he posted on like a big Facebook
site, yeah.
Facebook page, and dude, everybody was just flipping out, like dying that they was pouring that out. You're pouring the nectar of the gods out.
Yeah.
Now, and I do need to admit something.
Uh-oh. Hey, you're in a safe place.
Safe place.
Let's get the confession window ready. Steven's Catholic Italian guy.
Safe place, and probably only about 6 other people will listen to this, so we're safe.
Okay. Oh my God.
People do collect letters, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have all 8 letters?
Oh, of course, yeah.
You do?
Yeah. I don't have them mounted or anything, but I have them.
Steven?
I have all 8.
It's funny. I've refused to accept anyone's letters, and because I don't get it this bottle much.
Okay.
I am probably the longest person in the world to collect all of them.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I think I'm like 2 or 3 short, which is probably like a big chunk of them. But
Okay.
I'm still doing it.
Okay.
All right.
I have all 8 letters
Okay. My man.
with my April 30th birth date on all 8 of them.
Whoa!
Wow.
So
Okay.
not only do I have all 8, I have all 8 with the exact same dump date on them.
Wow.
My birthday.
See, that's amazing.
No. Let's kick it up a notch.
That's, yeah.
So
Do you have all 8 gold on your birthday?
no, do not.
Or
No,
there's
straight
something,
for
there's
the
something to
barrel.
achieve for it.
We're disappointed now.
But because it's funny, we'll see people in the local groups. Blantons they were $115. Now with the market, they're down to like $90 to $100 in our local groups. So what's funny is you'll see somebody post like where they have all 8 letters, and instead they want like something outrageous on the price. We're like, dude, it's the same freaking value.
Yeah, and it's supposed
It
to be
doesn't
lower.
matter.
It's supposed to be lower if you're buying a bulk.
It doesn't matter, But yeah, because they'll have different dump dates too.
Right.
Like now, if you want to post all 8 letters and have the exact same dump date,
Yep.
and that dump date happens to mean something to somebody, wedding day, birth of the kid, your birthday or whatever. So I do have all 8 with my birthday, bro.
I have 2 birthday bottles. I have 1 Blanton's and 1 Henry McKenna.
So
birthday
I need like
bottle.
a Tater T-shirt.
There you go.
Well, maybe Tater Santa can bring you one.
Tater.
Oh, should we go for first nose?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, straight up. 2 notes stand out. Y'all want to go first, or I'll?
You can go.
I smell smooth and vanilla, baby.
Smooth and vanilla, just like Elmer wanted you to.
I do smell vanilla though, for real.
No, I get like
Straight up.
the vanilla, honey swirl, little cherry, light nosing though, but nothing, man.
Very like cola.
Cola, yeah, cherry vanilla cola, and here,
So that's what's wild. So for me, George T. Stagg is cherry.
right. But George T. Stagg's mash bill 1, isn't it? Does it matter really? They're doing stuff to profile anyway. It doesn't matter.
They are doing crap to profile. I have had friends that have gone there and done picks, and they have done Blanton's picks that are mash bill 1, other Blanton's picks mash bill 2.
Right.
They've done Eagle Rare picks where it's a mash bill 1, it's
doesn't
freaking mash
matter.
bill 2. Buffalo, that's my one true gripe with them.
Right.
is
Why do
they're-
we talk about it anymore?
Yeah, that's my gripe. But I get strong cherry on George T. Stagg. I get some cherries on Stagg Jr. sometimes. I usually don't get cherry on Rock Hill, Elmer T. Lee, or Blanton though.
Okay.
All right. Hear me out.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
I want to hear that. I want to hear your wonderful descriptors.
I'm getting a nose. High Life or Miller Lite.
Like the effervescence of High Life.
Yeah.
Wow. That's not a good nose though. Do you want that? No,
Do you get it?
I kind of get what you're saying. So you're catching some of the grain, because to me, High Life has a very grain forward profile.
I don't drink beer, so I don't know.
I kind of see where you're going with that. Yeah.
I mean, my mind may be off.
Well, wait a minute now. High Life is the champagne of beers.
It's true.
So,
Are you saying this is the champagne of bourbon?
This could be the champagne of bourbon. That's what we could dub this, the champagne of bourbon. I like that. But
I can see the champagne of bourbon.
there you go.
Because, like, you're celebrating, you pop the cork, everybody pours, you take one drink, and you toss it out. So I can see that, bro. I can see that. I can see that.
Are you going to make mimosas after this?
You just take, you pour a little champagne, make a little toast, you drink one sip, and you freaking throw it away.
How dare you? I mean, come on. So one other thing that I wanted to say real quick was every single bottle of Blanton's apparently comes from Warehouse H. How is that possible? Is that possible?
BS again.
That is the biggest mofo in.
Right.
So
it can't be. There's
I've
no
also
freaking
heard
way.
from a lot of insiders.
Right.
A lot of insiders.
Are they insiders?
They store their stuff down at Barton.
Really?
I'm dead serious. I've heard that I'm not like, I didn't hear one guy say that. I've heard like 5 or 6 different people. And that could be totally wrong.
Well,
Could have all 5 people could have the wrong info.
Is this Warehouse H at Barton?
Yeah, that's true. Right? They got like 7 Warehouse H's. But that could be wrong, and that could be totally like the 5 different people might have heard it from each other or something. Who knows?
But it could have been this though too. They could have just taken barrels out of Warehouse H after they've been aged there and put them somewhere else.
Yeah,
it's still technically Warehouse H, right? So it's not like they're in.
Or they might age them at freaking Barton, bring them up, put them in Warehouse H for one day.
They could.
And
Exactly.
Then, who knows,
then it's Warehouse H. Because I don't think there's any hard and fast rules on what Warehouse H is, but you guys know, you've been on a tour at Buffalo Trace. You see Warehouse H. They don't take you in there though, right? They never take you in there. They go, that is Warehouse H, where Blanton is at. And they point to the metal warehouse. And the history of that warehouse was the one that Albert Blanton built or had commissioned to be built because he said it would help to age the whiskey faster because it's made of metal, obviously. And so I want the Warehouse H tour from Buffalo Trace. I think maybe we got to take Ralph up on his offer. Ralph.
Are there any secret tours you can go on?
I think Ralph could give us a secret tour, couldn't he?
We went into
a lot of pressure on the poor guy.
When I was on that OBC pick, we got to go into the chilled warehouse. So it's like super cold. That's where they're going to have like 50 and 60 and 80-year-old bourbons in there. It's like legit cold in there.
Really?
Yeah, like cold.
Okay, so the cold kind of like what?
Slows down.
Yeah. Just like why, you got to have...
It keeps it out of the barrel.
You have like a 33-year Canadian whiskey that might have the same color as our 8-year whiskey.
Right.
You've got a 40-year-old, 50-year-old Scotch that's got the same color as our 15-year-old, because of the cold weather.
It was braving the Nova Scotia winters at 30 degrees below zero.
The Vikings.
It was left out to die out in the cold. I don't know where we're going with that, but I like the voice.
I went back in for a nose, and I dig some of the honeys you're talking about. So, yeah. Because first it was just me vanilla, but yeah.
So vanilla honey.
Too.
So no High Life?
No, I think that what you're talking about is a little bit of the grain backbone on this, and it's actually like kind of a corn straw almost. So that's kind of what High Life is. So I think that you're getting the corny sweetness, a little bit of straw to it.
Well, Can Dog, should we go for a taste?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
All right, here we go. Been waiting years for this. I seriously don't remember the last time I opened a regular blend.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's like riding a bike.
Well, that made my tooth hurt. I'm kidding. I think that pretzel that I ate earlier that I chomped on really hard made my tooth hurt a little bit. But interesting sip.
Do you need some ice?
No, I don't. I don't need ice with this, actually. But what I will say is the flavor on this is a little bit fuller than I remember. When I say fuller, I mean it's not as watery as I remember Blanton's being.
I feel like the 93 proof is coming through very respectfully.
Right.
Not in a... I think I've said this in the past, like the Blanton's bite.
Right.
But I guess maybe that's what I'm talking about.
No, I do think that, let's put it this way. I have had some Buffalo Trace picks that have had less of that bite on the end of them than this does. This still has a little bit of bite, but it's interesting flavors. What's your predominant thing you're getting on a palate? As Kenny swishes.
To me, it's grain.
That is grain.
Corn and grain.
That's corn.
Because it's not 6 years old anymore. It's 4.
So over the years, I assume like all the bourbons, this has been kind of the standards have been lowered a little bit on the age statements, right?
Huge.
Has to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they're trying to keep up with the whole supply and demand,
Right.
this crap they've created.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's been something that's taken a hit because as someone who consumed Blantons pretty frequently, I always think about what happened with Blantons. And I could be completely wrong here, but so moved here in 2011. Blantons, I think, started tradition in 2012. So I remember getting a bottle every year up until about, I think it was 2015. So I think Blanton's went on allocation around 2013, 2014, but it still took a while for it to like go off the shelf. And
Really? It was allocated that long ago?
yeah, I think it went, maybe it was 2015. All I know is I remember it was maybe 15 or 16 was the first year my wife went out looking and said, I can't find a bottle of Blanton's for your birthday. I'm sorry. And I was like, oh no, what happened? And it's because once it went on allocation, everybody bought it up and you couldn't get it anywhere.
Yeah, I remember
I
remember vividly. I was in Liquor Barn, Hamburg,
right.
and I was in the bourbon aisle deciding on something way back when. And Blanton's was sitting on the shelf for
45.
Yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, I don't know if I want to spend that.
Right.
There was one left.
Right.
And I think I forgot what I did, but I did not pick it up.
Right. Yeah. I remember I was sitting there too, but I remember when it went off the shelf. But here's the thing. It went off the shelf, and I feel like my wife got me a bottle in 2017 and said, oh, look, I found a Blanton's for you. Opened it, and maybe it was just because I hadn't had it in a while that it just wasn't good. Like, I very distinctly thought to myself when I got this bottle, I said, something's gone bad. Like, it tasted like appley and almost vinegary. It was very weird. And that is like the time when I remember going, I don't think the same about Blanton's as I used to, because it was like a treat for my birthday every year, and I wasn't drinking as much back then of bourbon and knowing much about it. And then once it came back, I feel like from allocation, it was just different bourbon.
Now, I'm really curious about Kenny's take on this, because like we've had this elongated kind of bourbon, and Kenny's kind of like jumped in and shot to the moon, Alice. And so I'm kind of curious, like how Kenny, like just emotionally or just like taste wise, what he thinks about Blanton's.
Yeah, so I said first sip in January 2020.
Right.
I jumped and dove in deep, 100%, like deeper than like this guy. But so my only experience with Blanton's is you can never get anywhere, and you paid $100, $110 a bottle minimum for it. And so that's why I also, once I actually tasted it, I was like, what the heck? This is what I've been chasing,
Right.
So for people like you all that were into it a lot longer than me and used to be able to buy it for $40 to $45 a bottle, I mean, I would say it was a good sipper back then. Just a good bang for the buck, good sipper. Yeah. I did just pour you something. Can you just drink that real quick?
Sure.
And of course, I was drinking it longer. I mean, I'm still at a low level, just
right.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah.
yeah.
Saying like anything like advanced,
dude. No,
we weren't buying cases of it. I mean, literally, the bottle I got every year was for my birthday.
But no, so that's the thing. So for me, that's why I've had such a negative connotation on Blanton, is because I came into it when it was already allocated $100, $110 a bottle. So when I just poured you a little more cinnamon, right? Cinnamon?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
100%. I think I like it a little bit better.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Elijah Craig.
Right.
Elijah Craig, 94 proof.
Fada bourbon.
So they used to have the front age stated, right?
Yeah.
Then they went away from the age stated.
Standard Elijah Craig.
No. I'm just using that as an example.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So Elijah Craig had the front age stated 12 year.
Right.
Then Elijah Craig went away from that, but it was still like the older label looking on the regular 94 proof stuff. That was like 2013, 2015, whatever it was.
Right.
So I got into bourbon in, 2020. So even if you drink a 2013, 2014, 94 proof Elijah Craig, it is just so much more depth of flavor than a 2020, 21, 2022 Elijah Craig of the exact same 94 proof. Well, what I just poured you all is a 2019 Blanton. So it's 5 years older than this.
Oh.
And it is not the grain forward.
No, it's
not.
not.
This new one is so, because here, all right, this is 2019. So I bet they really were, these were 6 years old back then, like they're supposed to be, minimum 6 years old.
That's funny you said it didn't get grain forward, because I really didn't get much out of it.
But it's not the corn grain young. It's not the youth.
Right.
This one you just cracked, and you you fresh cracked this April 9th, 2024 bottle.
Right.
This is like hidden barn grain forward, bro.
Yeah.
This is grain forward, corn forward.
Right up front, yeah, you're getting that.
Yeah.
That grain, that youth.
So this, I'm telling you, man, this stuff from all my insiders have been telling me this stuff's 4 and 5 years old, and I think it really is, man.
Well,
because that is so grain forward compared to this other Blanton that's 5 years old.
You know what? I just went back to it, and you're right. Here's the thing. I think that the 2019, even though I still don't think it's to the level of stuff that I drank even farther back,
right?
That's what I like the most about Blanton's, right? So you'll hear people talk about Lot B. I don't think we've ever reviewed a Lot B on here, but I've had Lot B.
Oh,
and
get ready next episode, yeah.
Oh, well, the big thing about Lot B is this. You drink a Lot B, and you're like, man, like I gave Lot B to my parents on Thanksgiving, and they were like, this is bourbon. They're like, this is just so smooth.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you could, and that's what I remember Blanton's being. I remember Blanton's being like the quintessential smooth, like, man, I could drink this all night, kind of bourbon. And it kind of faded from that. From about 2017 is when I had that bad experience and was like, what has happened to this product? So now knowing 2019, because it did bounce back a little bit.
So how are you going to rate this versus the blind?
Oh, man.
I haven't done a blind yet.
Yeah, you haven't even
No, I have the blind to pour still. I just wanted you to taste what a 2019 Blanton was compared to a new Blanton.
How are you going to rate this versus the 2019?
No. 2019 is just to show you that I really think I am correct that the new stuff is 4 and 5 years old, not 6+. Because it is so grain forward, so corn and grain forward.
I mean, that's the only thing I think we liked about the Japanese release was that it was age stated.
Because it's 8 years old, bro.
Yeah.
To be the Japanese, it has to be at least be 8 years old.
Yeah. We didn't like the low proof, but we liked the fact that it was age stated.
Oh, you did? Oh, that one. I'm sorry. That was I'm sorry. Sorry. That was the green. Okay, so there is a red. Did y'all do the Takara red yet?
No, we've done the black, but not the red.
Yeah. So the red is the 93 proof that's 8 years old minimum.
Okay.
So Takara is probably the best regular Blanton they put out, like just on a traditional. I mean, Blanton's gold. I love that. A little bit higher proof. But
I know you said that, of course, the straight is a single barrel, and your mileage may vary. But I remember when we tried the straight, it was outstanding.
Dude, I have had some straight from the barrel that is flat out awesome.
Like we said,
cinnamon bombs. I got one up there that's open. The cinnamon bomb. It is just freaking beautiful.
I remember I was saying like this needs to be in the BTAC instead of the handy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you said that, it reminded me that there was a moment of speculation when people thought that Blanton's was going to be part of the BTAC. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I was preoccupied there for a second, gentlemen, because I just realized in a local group I played a fireball earlier.
Did you win?
And I won.
What'd you get?
I won an E.H. Taylor single barrel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Those can actually be pretty good.
Yeah, and for our listeners out there, just so you know, it was a 100-spot rando, and I bought 4 spots. So I came out way ahead of spending $12 and winning an E.H. Taylor single barrel.
Now, this is the blind.
Cheers.
Brand new fresh glass. I poured a bunch. So I'm going to pour into your all's glass.
All right.
So this is the blind to go against the
Blanton's.
current Blantons. So forget the older Blanton I poured you. I just wanted you to pour that to show you that it was not grain forward like the new stuff.
Yeah. Forget the OG.
Did you say the OG?
The OG's upstairs.
OG. Big shout out to Kenny's dog.
Man, he was limping this morning. It hurt my heart, dude. It hurt his leg
yeah,
somehow. He's old, bro. All right, so here's the blind. And unlike last episode, I want to reveal the blind this time before past try by.
Okay.
Unlike the previous episode.
Interesting. Very interesting blind. I don't feel like you went very big on this. You went with something that's pretty...
Which is good.
Yeah.
It feels is more subtle.
Right.
It doesn't have that bite.
It doesn't, and it's got a little bit more caramel sweetness.
And it's not as grain forward.
And not as grain forward. It's a little caramel. Right. Caramel sweetness is there. So...
Corn forward, grain forward more.
Steven loves that.
What's that?
He loves when I say caramel sweetness. Yeah. He loves caramel sweetness.
That corn and grain forward that drives me nuts because that's just such youthfulness, man. It's like freaking moonshine. It's not done right. It's freaking 2-year-old, 3-year-old stuff,
Now, do you think, though, I want to interrupt for a second as we're tasting this. So, also in my experience with Blanton's, which I have to put this out there because I don't want everybody to have a bad name just based on what we're saying. I remember being in South Carolina one time with a good buddy of mine that I grew up with and his friend, and we cracked a bottle of Blanton's that was just a regular off-the-shelf bottle. It had such a good flavor. This is probably 2019, 18, right before COVID, and we probably almost killed the entire bottle. Now, part of that's friends hanging out, having a good time, reminiscing.
Yeah.
But it did legit taste great comparatively. So is it possible that this bottle we have sitting in front of us, as goes single barrels, you just got a bad barrel? But is it possible? Just throwing it out there.
Just going back to, I guess, comparing this with Kenny, is that if I got this cracked and we were sitting down just sharing it on ice, hanging out,
right,
like on a fire pit,
right,
I think I would be like super happy about it.
Okay.
And I think it's just more of an emotional attachment to the bottle.
Okay, that's fair.
Like,
that's very fair.
If Kenny brings down like a pocket pour that destroys it,
right.
So to go along with that, I had 2 points. Number one, some of the best whiskey is just shared with friends and good times. Doesn't matter whether it's a $20 bottle, a $200 bottle, whatever.
Right.
So that plays a big part into it. Number two, the 2019 I poured tasted better in 2024.
It did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if your Blanton's from 2015, 16, 17, 18, dude, that stuff was a minimum 6 years
That's
old.
true. Yeah. It
So
probably
yes,
was better stuff,
so it was a
yeah.
combination of both. It was a combination of it's the memories it's making. It's those making the memories. It's the good times. That's just the fellowship that things taste better. I mean, because I don't do it much anymore. I even said it multiple times. I would blind 5 days a week.
Right.
I mean, I was getting my palate sharp. I could tell crap from my double blind skills were gotten a lot better. I don't do it anymore. That's blind now just to see, which one I like compared to the next one. But same thing. Even though I was blinding and tasting the differences between them, nothing ever tasted as good as if I was sitting around a table with friends drinking the exact same bottles,
I
man.
agree.
So part of it, the taste is the best tasting whiskey is when you're drinking with buddies and friends.
Right.
But also, 5-year-old whiskey tastes, the same brand 5 years ago usually tastes better than it does now. It just is what it is, man, with the big bourbon boom.
Well, I know we got a little bit into our feels there, but I will just say this.
It's hard not to do with this bottle.
Yeah, going back, though, to the blind versus the bottle.
So the blind, this is important.
The Blanton's, it's very weird. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. I don't want to completely, but after having it next to the blind, and I feel like this blind, I'm just going to be real honest right now. Kenny always asks about price. I feel like this blind is like a $20 or $30 bottle. Seriously, I do.
I know he's going to.
Yeah, I feel like it might be a $20 or $30 bottle. Yeah.
He's not going to go more than this. I think he's going to prove a point.
Well, no, I'm just saying that because I'm thinking there are some good $20 and $30 bottles that probably blow the crap out of Blanton's. But anyway.
I like the blind better. I don't know where y'all are.
No, I do like it better. It's got, I actually think the blind might be a Heaven Hill or Jim Beam product, which is going to, I shouldn't guess stuff because as we know when we were at Hector's place.
Dude, all right.
I guess FAO too, but then I am way off with New Riff.
Dude, but here's the thing. Number one, double blinds are hard. We always say that. But number two, man, no, that's New Riff.
Yeah.
New Riff is, I will make a 4.5-year-old bourbon that tastes young and sharp and horrible, and it tastes like 4.5-year-old bourbon. But I also make a 4.5-year-old bourbon that tastes like it's an 8 to 10-year-old nice premium product.
Right.
When I was at Mossick, one of the last episodes I recorded on Journey Drinkers with him, he blinded me with the New Riff pick they did. I thought it was our Liquor Box OBSK QS88.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And so then once I poured that from Mossick, he was like, holy crap, these two taste very similar.
Similar, yeah.
So it's New Riff. New Riff can do some dangerous stuff, man.
They can, yeah. They got a lot of stuff going on there.
All right, so I am blind over Blanton. Anthony's blind over Blanton. Steven, where are you at? You don't have to, you don't have to say, you can like the Blanton better. It's the Blanton is just grain forward to me.
I am blind over Blanton.
As I sit here holding this ring of wax, I feel like it's broken promises. I had such high hopes tonight. I really did. I did. I'm having a moment now because I do really feel like Kenny pulled out like a $20 or $30 bottle.
Kenny, he's going to start crying.
I do think that the 2019 Blanton that I pulled out is much better than the new one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you still think the 2019 is better than the blind though? Probably not.
Do you want to I haven't side by sided that.
No,
yet.
I don't think we need
Enough.
to do. No, I don't think we need to do that. Yeah. I just asked because I didn't know if you did it.
So the blind is also a very underrated is not the right word. It actually gets hated on a little bit.
Okay.
It gets hated on unfairly. It's not as good as the original.
Okay. Oh,
But
the original.
It's not as good as the original,
Okay.
but it's unfairly hated on because it's actually good for the money.
Okay.
This is Early Times Bottled in Bond by Sazerac. So this is not the black cap.
one.
This is the new one.
The new
Oh,
So a new 1 liter. So a new 1 liter bottle at $30.
right.
Crushes this Blanton, bro.
I knew he was gonna do it.
Crushes it. Crushes it.
Dang. I thought it was more of the profile of Heaven Hill, actually.
And now what'll be interesting is to see where Early Times Bottled in Bond goes once it is all Buffalo Trace.
Right.
Because when they bought them, they bought a ton of barrels of the Brown Forman juice.
Remaining stocks.
Now the reason why for most everybody, 90% of the people, the original tastes better, the black cap, is because that was using Early Times blenders and tasters. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, the black cap definitely to me tastes better. I've blinded it 5 times, 6 times, but this is still very, very good. So, 2 years from now, a year from now, I don't know when they're going to run out of that stock, but at least this bottle that I bought probably almost a year ago, 8 months ago,
Right.
this still to me just crushes the Blantons, bro.
All right. So emotionally, when I go to the campfire,
Yeah.
I just need to keep a empty Blanton's bottle
Yeah.
and just fill it up with Early Times,
Yes.
1 liter,
And everyone will,
and I'll be like super happy.
and then when people get home and drink their own Blantons, they'll be like, ooh, this doesn't taste as good as the one Steven gave me.
Steven had a honey
Steven
barrel.
had the honey barrel,
There you
bro.
go. There you go.
Boom.
Well, Steven, you remember we did do review Early Times, and we reviewed the Sazerac version of it, and we both
It's good.
We were both buys on it.
Yeah.
It's good.
And I remember talking at that time saying, Kenny had not even blinded me with the black cap and the regular one, and I still was a fan. And tonight I'm still a fan too.
it
That's
is.
a great pour. That's a great.
That's what I'm saying. So I can't say it's underrated, but it gets hated on because it's not as good as Black Cap. Dude, this is for $30 and a 1 liter. Dude, that's great.
Hell yeah,
It really is.
And they drink
That's very
good
good.
well, and it's going to drink good. In the
It really
mix.
is.
Yeah.
It's good.
No,
It's good.
I agree.
So
I love it. I love the
It's gonna be
tandem.
Go, baby.
Emotionally, it's going to be difficult.
It
Do it,
is,
baby.
yeah. Shoo.
Gents,
yes, sir.
would you pass, try, or buy on the OG Blanton?
You guys are looking at me, so I think I might as well just lead it off.
I'll go first.
You want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's easy for you, isn't it?
I'm a pass all day because this $30 Early Times is better.
Right.
The 2019 Blanton that I poured,
Right.
and if you can get it, back then at least, when it was $50, $60 retail, I'd be a buy. But this current stuff is just too young and grain forward, and so I got to pass.
Give me that. Give me the bottle. I got to hold it.
You gonna drain pour it?
I'm not going to drain
Oh, okay.
pour it, but I needed to have it back because I've wrapped a glass in the wax of Blanton's.
But what I'm gonna do, I'm pouring some of my 2019,
Yep.
and I have some Early Times left.
Yep.
I have the brand new 2024 Blantons. I'm gonna pour some 2019. I'm gonna drink them all 3 and see what I think.
All right, this is going to be a biased opinion.
Okay, go ahead. Please.
I am going to be a try
Okay.
because I think you need to at least try it to know what it is.
Right.
And it's not uber expensive. It meets Kenny's $70 pickup.
That's
Right.
very fair for you. For the way you're wording that, that's actually a very true and fair statement.
Okay. Now, do I miss? I actually don't have a bottle that's at home.
Okay.
I have one bottle that the dump date is super sentimental, so I'm not going to open it. So, I haven't drank it in a while.
Okay.
So I don't really miss not drinking it.
Right.
So, I guess I don't mind missing having it.
Right.
So I think I'm just going to be a try on it.
That's very fair. And this is very difficult for me. I'm just going to tell you guys, I've never cried on the podcast before. Wait a minute. And tonight, I'm not going to cry either.
Okay. The streak goes on.
That streak goes on. But seriously, I I expected so much more out of this bottle because I have so many good memories with it. And here's what I'll say. This taste, now that I went in and poured another one, when I said, Kenny, give me that bottle, it literally tastes like burnt corn. It tastes like burnt corn.
Hidden bar moonshine, bro.
Yeah, it can be because it's a bad barrel or whatever.
I mean, that's true.
And I know they're flooding the gift shop with it. So here's what I'll say. If this were every bottle of Blanton's, I'd be a pass. 100%.
But it's single barrel.
It's single barrel, so I would still recommend that people try it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a bigger community of people talking about good runs of Blanton's, because I never thought about that until we talked about it earlier, or like where there could be honey barrels. But I will say this. As iconic as this bourbon is, in terms of the bottle and everything it's been through, there deserves to be better juice in this bottle.
No doubt.
Buffalo Trace puts out some banger Buffalo Trace picks at 90 proof. Other things that they do. This bottle deserves better juice, and I'm actually very disappointed.
Now, do you think if things start slowing down at all, that would up it to the 2019 or
Don't know if things are going to slow down.
I don't know.
I know, but I'm just.
But they have their second still going.
Okay.
Right.
So I do believe that
In a decade.
4 to 5 years from now, they'll get back to putting 6 to 7 year old juice in it. But so
Will it be age stated?
No, they don't do age stated.
Right.
But two things I do totally. I didn't think of that angle of it, but Steven's angle of a try,
Right.
is like this is an iconic bottle.
Right.
For single barrel, the barrel, the actual bottle shape, everything about it's iconic. So I mean, you really need to try it, right?
Right.
I still got to be a pass just based on the juice itself,
Right.
But I do love your angle on that. That
Me
is
too.
huge. And Anthony, you're right. This is such an iconic bottle.
It needs better.
When you see people in movies and they're pouring a Blanton,
Right.
Buffalo Trace needs to do better on this.
They absolutely do.
Like shortchange some cheap dude. Do not shortchange this Blanton like
You
that.
can't. You can't.
Because there's
You
really
can't.
there's really no other. I mean, until a couple years ago, there was no other variant in the U.S. of this bottle,
Right.
Yeah,
and so you had Blantons.
yeah.
Right.
And it
So
needs-
that bottle deserves better than what in that glass, man.
No, 100%. And I will say that even though it pains me, I think that we gave this an honest shot, and we
I came in open minded. I really did.
Yeah, and it's about as honest, I would say, as you would get, like, from guys that have tasted a lot of whiskey. We have all different experience levels here. You know, we're experiencing different things and tasting at different paces, and have had the opportunity, and we're fortunate enough to taste a lot of stuff. But I can't remember what Blanton's tasted like.
Yeah.
It ain't a philosophical thing for me, and this is not what
that's
Blanton's
not it.
is.
No,
That's not it.
I
That's
actually
not it.
appreciate the 2019 pour.
Yeah, that
Thank
was
you,
way
Kenny.
better, man.
Thank you, Kenny.
It was way better.
Yep.
It takes me back to my youth.
And so, peach schnapps take me back to my youth. But
You got the
anyway.
butterscotch schnapps over there.
Who?
You feel like more of a Zima guy with Jolly Ranchers.
Dude, I'm old, bro. That came out when I was
Colt 45?
No, peach like
Billy D. Williams?
Zima was I was almost legal age. I think with Zima, man.
Oh
It
my
came out.
goodness gracious! Yeah,
But now, so when this episode drops, we will have already been to Jack Daniels.
yeah,
So our next one we drop after that, we'll definitely talk about that experience.
We will,
I
yeah,
think it's going to be a
good
great, man.
I think so too.
And with that, thanks for listening to this episode. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY.
Don't forget to visit our partner, bourbonoutfitter.com. Enter code The Mashup for a special discount.
Also,
Head on over to our partner, the Woodwork Collective, at woodworkcollective.shop. Enter code MASHUP for a 15% discount.
let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.